The night air shattered with the thunderous crack of 4 gunshots. When police burst through apartment 347's door at Peachtree View Apartments, the metallic scent of blood hung heavy in the air. Monica Harris lay motionless on the beige carpet, crimson staining her nurse's scrubs. 4 entry wounds marked her chest, each shot fired at close range, each one fatal. In the corner of the living room, Danny Carter sat frozen, the revolver still warm in her trembling hands. Her eyes, vacant and hollow, never left Monica's body. An anniversary card lay torn beside her, 18 years together, printed in gold lettering across its cover. Summer 2005. 2 young women giggled over cappuccinos at an Atlanta Community Center fundraiser. Monica, finishing her nursing degree, captivated by Danny's animated stories about her latest mural project. Their fingers touched, reaching for the same cookie. A spark ignited that neither expected. "You're different," Monica had whispered. "Different good?" Danny asked. "Different everything," Monica replied, her smile genuine, full of promise. Those early days of tender touches and whispered dreams gave no hint of what would come. How does love, once so pure and defiant against a world determined to judge it, transform into its opposite? What invisible cracks form in the foundation of a relationship until one moment, one sentence, becomes the breaking point that shatters everything? What happens when a single comment about weight, 8 careless words spoken in frustration, destroys nearly 2 decades of shared struggles and triumphs? How can something so seemingly small trigger consequences so catastrophically permanent? And could anyone have seen it coming? Monica and Danny built their relationship against relentless odds, as Black women loving each other in a society often hostile to both their race and sexuality. Their bond became legendary among friends, the steady nurse and the passionate artist, opposites who complemented each other perfectly. Yet beneath their synchronized public dance lived private tensions and unspoken wounds that deepened with each passing year. Have you ever witnessed words cut deeper than any weapon? If you've experienced how a single cruel comment can wound beyond healing, hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts below. Monica Harris carried herself with quiet confidence through Atlanta Memorial Hospital's corridors. A trauma nurse for 15 years, her colleagues relied on her steady hands during the most chaotic emergencies. Patients remembered her gentle touch and reassuring voice, the way she explained procedures without condescension, how she fought insurance companies on their behalf. Born to working-class parents who emphasized education as the pathway forward, Monica had put herself through nursing school while working 2 jobs. This disciplined determination became her hallmark. "Healing isn't just about medicine," she often told new nurses. "It's about making people feel seen when they're at their most vulnerable." Danny Carter transformed blank walls into vibrant stories. Her murals adorned community centers, schools, and underpasses throughout Atlanta, each one celebrating Black resilience and joy. Her art caught attention: bold colors, unexpected perspectives, and faces that seemed to breathe with life. Unlike Monica's methodical approach, Danny created from pure emotion. She painted through night until morning light, then slept until afternoon. Her moods shifted like weather: sunshine laughter followed by cloudy withdrawal. Despite gallery success, financial stability remained elusive. "Art isn't what I do," she explained when people questioned her unconventional hours. "It's who I am. I couldn't stop creating even if I tried." The community center fundraiser where they met showcased Danny's latest mural, a celebration of healthcare workers. Monica attended reluctantly, dragged by co-workers after a 12-hour shift. "You captured our exhaustion, but also our purpose," Monica told the artist, pointing to a detail others had missed. Danny, usually defensive about her work, felt instantly understood. They debated color theory over donated wine in plastic cups until staff began stacking chairs around them. Both left with phone numbers exchanged and possibilities blooming between them. Their relationship flourished despite dual challenges: a society uncomfortable with their sexuality, and communities sometimes uncomfortable with their love. Monica's parents initially struggled, but eventually welcomed Danny to family gatherings. Danny's mother embraced Monica immediately, while her father remained distant. They built their sanctuary in a modest 2-bedroom apartment filled with books, plants, and Danny's canvases. Weekends meant farmers markets, community organizing, and Sunday dinners with chosen family, other LGBTQ+ couples who understood their journey. Together, they navigated microaggressions at work, inappropriate questions from strangers, and the exhaustion of constantly deciding when to stand firm or when preservation required silence. Through it all, they created joy deliberately. "We exist loudly" became their unofficial motto, celebrating each anniversary as an act of resistance. On Instagram, #relationship goals accompanied their photos. Monica surprising Danny with art supplies after a long hospital shift. Danny bringing homemade soup to Monica during flu season. Friends envied their apparent balance, the responsible nurse and free-spirited artist complementing each other perfectly. Yet careful observers noticed subtle tensions. How Monica's jaw tightened when Danny arrived late to important events. How Danny's laugh sometimes seemed forced when Monica discussed finances. The increasing frequency with which they declined social invitations. The way conversations stopped abruptly when others entered the room. Small moments of disconnect accumulating gradually. Invisible fault lines beneath an apparently solid foundation. What parts of yourself do you hide from the person who knows you best? Comment below if you've ever maintained a perfect public image while privately questioning your relationship. Like and subscribe for more honest conversations. During their first 5 years, Monica and Danny created a home that reflected their shared vision. Weekends were devoted to flea market hunts for vintage furniture and art supplies. They painted walls together, Monica methodically taping edges while Danny splashed bold accent colors. Their tiny balcony became an urban garden where they grew herbs and morning glories. Evenings found them planning their future, discussing adoption possibilities, debating city versus suburban life, and dreaming of opening a community arts and wellness center. These conversations stretched into night, bodies intertwined, hopes aligned, their differences still feeling complementary rather than contradictory. By year 7, subtle shifts appeared in their dynamic. Monica's promotion to charge nurse brought higher pay, but also 60-hour work weeks and administrative responsibilities she resented. Danny secured a prestigious gallery showing, yet sales remained inconsistent, creating financial dependence she hadn't anticipated. Small irritations grew larger. Monica's need for tidiness clashed with Donnie's creative chaos. Danny's spontaneous nature conflicted with Monica's carefully structured calendar. Arguments ended with temporary resolutions, but without addressing deeper issues. "We'll figure it out," became their mantra, a phrase that initially offered comfort but gradually transformed into an acknowledgement that certain topics remained too painful to confront directly. When COVID-19 struck Atlanta, their fragile balance collapsed. Monica worked 20-day stretches in overcrowded ICUs, watching patients die without family present. She returned home hollow-eyed, showering immediately, afraid to touch Danny before disinfecting herself completely. Meanwhile, Danny's art world imploded. Her solo exhibition canceled indefinitely, community mural projects suspended, teaching workshops terminated. Their apartment, once a sanctuary, became a pressure chamber of Monica's trauma and Danny's mounting anxiety. Their roles reversed unexpectedly. Danny now attempting to provide emotional stability while battling her own depression. Meals were left untouched. Sleep became elusive for both. Monica flinched at sudden movements, carrying hospital horrors home. Danny scrolled endlessly through news, her creativity blocked by constant dread. Neither recognized the person they'd become, nor knew how to reach the person they loved. Communication withered between them. Conversations once flowing freely became stilted exchanges about groceries and bills. Entire evenings passed without meaningful interaction. Monica reviewing medical journals while Danny sketched half-heartedly, both pretending this distance was temporary. Physical intimacy dwindled until absent entirely. They slept facing opposite walls, the space between them widening despite sharing the same bed. "I'm just tired," they each explained, avoiding the harder truth. They'd stopped trying to bridge the gap. Habit and history kept them together while connection eroded beneath forced politeness. Their inner circle failed to notice the warning signals. During video calls, Monica and Danny maintained perfect coordination, finishing each other's sentences, presenting united opinions. They declined most socially distanced gatherings, blaming Monica's exhausting schedule. When they did appear together, friends attributed their subdued interaction to pandemic fatigue affecting everyone. Nobody questioned why Danny stopped sharing new artwork or why Monica changed subjects when asked about their anniversary plans. The couple had always seemed so solid that even their closest friends couldn't imagine the depth of disconnection occurring behind closed doors. October 17th, 2023. Their 18th anniversary arrived without celebration plans. The morning proceeded with mechanical precision, Monica preparing coffee while Danny scrolled through her phone, neither acknowledging the significance of the date. Monica had once surprised Danny with weekend getaways or handwritten letters for anniversaries. Danny used to wake early to make Monica's favorite breakfast, hiding small gifts around their apartment. This year, only a single card sat unopened on the kitchen counter, a last-minute purchase from the hospital gift shop. By evening, the apartment felt charged with expectation. Danny attempted dinner, Monica's favorite lasagna, but the sauce burned while she lost herself in a glass of wine. Monica arrived home late, her scrubs wrinkled, eyes rimmed with exhaustion. The table remained half set, the burnt smell lingering. "You couldn't even manage dinner on our anniversary?" Monica dropped her bag by the door. "I tried. Not everyone has your perfect timing," Danny replied, wine glass clutched too tightly. The exchange ignited 18 years of accumulated grievances. Monica's voice rose as she listed sacrifices made, extra shifts taken when Danny's exhibitions didn't sell, vacations canceled for art supplies, retirement contributions carrying them both. Danny countered with her own ledger, supporting Monica through medical school, moving 3 times for her career advancement, the loneliness of her partner's constant absence. "I never asked you to sacrifice your dreams," Monica insisted. "You never had to ask. You just expected it," Danny responded. "And what exactly have you accomplished while I've worked myself to death?" Accusations accelerated. Forgotten birthdays, emotional unavailability, mismanaged finances, neglected intimacy. Each comment struck with precision, targeting vulnerabilities known only to lovers who once cherished each other. Monica gestured toward the half-empty wine bottle. "This is exactly why we're here. You start something, never finish it, then drink away your disappointment." "That's not fair," Danny whispered, her body curling inward. "Fair? You want to talk about fair?" Monica's patience snapped. "I've been holding us together while you've been sitting here feeling sorry for yourself. You've gained 20 pounds this year just lying around this apartment. Maybe if you put down the wine and picked up some responsibility, you wouldn't hate yourself so much." The words landed like physical blows. Danny's weight had always been her deepest insecurity, connected to childhood taunts, her mother's criticism, countless gallery owners suggesting she'd be more marketable if she were thinner. This attack came from Monica, who had once held her through tears after cruel comments, who had photographed her body with reverence, who had promised never to use her vulnerabilities against her. "I didn't mean—" Monica stopped, recognizing immediately she'd crossed an uncrossable line. Danny's face transformed, shock dissolving into something harder, colder. 18 years, and that's what you really think of me. I'm exhausted. We're both saying things. Get out! Danny's voice came flat, emotionless. Just get out! Monica grabbed her keys without changing clothes, slamming the door behind her. Alone, Danny remained motionless for several minutes. Then methodically, she poured the remaining wine down the sink, walked to their bedroom, opened the closet safe where Monica's grandfather's revolver had remained untouched for years, held its cold weight in her hand. Could you identify the exact moment a relationship crosses the point of no return? That instant when words become weapons impossible to disarm? Psychology experts say most relationships don't end with dramatic confrontations. They erode through thousands of small moments where connection was possible, but missed. Have you ever said something you immediately wished you could take back, or been wounded by words that changed how you saw someone forever? Share your experience in the comments. If this story resonates with you, like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into human relationships. 3 hours later, Monica returned to their apartment. The parking lot argument with herself had yielded clarity. Their relationship needed professional help, not midnight accusations. 18 years deserved more than angry words and slammed doors. She entered quietly, rehearsed apology catching in her throat at the sight before her. Danny sat motionless on their couch, illuminated by a single lamp. On the coffee table lay Monica's grandfather's revolver, a family heirloom from his police days, kept locked away for years. "What are you doing with that?" Monica asked, voice barely audible. Danny looked up, her expression unnervingly calm. "Trying to decide what hurts more, your words or the thought of using this." "Put it away, please." Monica stepped forward cautiously. "I shouldn't have said those things. I was exhausted and cruel." "Cruel implies you didn't mean it," Danny replied. "But we both know you did." Monica approached slowly. "We need help, not this. Whatever's broken between us, we can fix it." "Fix it?" Danny laughed without humor. "For 18 years, I've watched you become someone I barely recognize. Someone who looks at me with disappointment instead of love." "That's not true." "It is," Danny's voice rose. "You resent me, my art, my body, the parts of me that don't fit your perfectly planned life." Monica's professional calm evaporated. "I've carried us financially for years while you chase gallery showings that barely pay our grocery bill. I've supported your dreams while mine gathered dust. And you've pulled away completely, hiding in wine bottles rather than facing reality." "Reality?" Danny stood suddenly, fingers brushing the gun. "The reality is you stopped seeing me. Really seeing me. You became my nurse instead of my partner, diagnosing my flaws, prescribing improvements, measuring my failings." Monica stepped closer, hand outstretched. "Give me the gun, Danny." "Please." Danny grabbed the revolver, pointing it without aim. "Stay back. I need space to think." "You're scaring me," Monica whispered, still advancing. "This isn't you." "You don't know who I am anymore," Danny replied, tears streaming now. "That's the whole problem." Monica lunged forward, attempting to secure the weapon. They struggled briefly, two bodies once perfectly synchronized now fighting against each other. The first shot discharged during the struggle, striking Monica's shoulder. The second followed immediately, entering her chest. As she fell backward, Danny fired twice more. Mechanical, detached movements, sending two final bullets into Monica's torso. Silence followed. Monica lay still. Danny remained standing, gun still aimed at emptiness. Neighbors called 911 after hearing gunshots. Officers arrived within minutes, finding the apartment door unlocked. They discovered Danny seated beside Monica's body, holding her hand, whispering apologies. The revolver lay beside them, 4 chambers empty. Danny offered no resistance as officers secured the weapon and handcuffed her. "She said I was worthless," Danny repeated mechanically to each question. Paramedics confirmed Monica Harris dead at the scene. 4 gunshot wounds, no survival chance. Danny watched with vacant eyes as they covered the body of her partner of 18 years. Detectives classified the case as domestic homicide, not robbery or home invasion. The anniversary card, burnt dinner, and witness reports of earlier arguing painted a clear picture of relationship conflict escalated to violence. As investigators pieced together Danny's background, a complex history emerged. Raised by a mother who constantly monitored her food intake and a father who abandoned the family when she was 12, Danny's relationship with her body became a battlefield early on. School records revealed frequent absences coinciding with weight-related bullying incidents. Her teenage diaries, discovered in a locked art cabinet, documented cycles of restrictive eating, followed by self-punishment. Art became her salvation. Creating beauty externally compensated for feeling unworthy internally. When she met Monica at 27, Danny had just completed therapy for an eating disorder. Monica's acceptance of her body, her celebration of it, had felt revolutionary. This made Monica's anniversary comment not merely cruel, but a betrayal that reopened Danny's deepest wound. Monica's colleagues described a dramatic personality shift during the pandemic. The once patient nurse became increasingly withdrawn, declining staff gatherings and taking extra shifts despite obvious exhaustion. Her therapist's notes, subpoenaed during investigation, revealed Monica had sought help for compassion fatigue 6 months prior. Sessions documented intrusive thoughts, emotional numbness, and difficulty connecting with patients, and increasingly with Danny. "I feel nothing sometimes," she'd written in her journal. Watching death daily has emptied something inside me. I'm performing emotions I should feel naturally. She'd canceled her follow-up appointments, telling Danny the therapy was unnecessary, while continuing to work impossible hours without emotional processing. The weapon's presence contained its own story. The .38 caliber revolver belonged to Monica's grandfather, Atlanta's first black police lieutenant in his precinct. He'd carried it throughout the civil rights era, using it once to protect protesters from violent opposition. Monica inherited it after his death, keeping it secured despite her discomfort with firearms. For both women, it represented protection, a family legacy of standing guard against threats. That Danny chose this specific weapon wasn't random. It symbolized power, protection, and family connection, all elements she felt were disintegrating in their relationship. Interviews with their social circle revealed a relationship more troubled than anyone realized. They stopped attending gatherings about a year ago, explained Jordan, their closest friend. When I asked why, Monica claimed exhaustion, but I noticed Danny texting me separately, asking if relationships could be repaired after fundamental trust was broken. Their upstairs neighbor reported overhearing intense arguments 3 times in the month before the shooting. One night I almost called police. Something shattered against a wall, and I heard crying for hours afterward. A fellow nurse described Monica's concerning behavior. She started keeping extra clothes in her locker, sometimes sleeping at the hospital between shifts. When I asked if everything was okay at home, she changed the subject. Danny's art students noticed changes too. Her teaching became mechanical, one stated. The passion vanished. Her examples all featured broken or disconnected imagery, completely different from her earlier celebratory style. Phone records exposed the relationship's collapse more starkly than either woman admitted publicly. 3 months before the shooting, Danny texted, "Sometimes I wonder if you'd notice if I disappeared. Would your routine even change?" Monica's response came 9 hours later. "That's not fair. I'm trying to keep us financially stable while you figure things out." Their anniversary morning, Danny had written, 18 years today. Remember when we used to celebrate these?" Monica never responded. The final exchange occurred just before their argument. Danny, "Made your favorite dinner. Coming home?" Monica, "Late shift. Don't wait up." Danny, "It's our anniversary." Monica, "I know what day it is." Investigators noted increasing gaps between messages, with conversations left unfinished. Digital evidence of 2 people gradually stopping their attempt to communicate. What parts of yourself do you hide from those who love you? Could sharing your darkest thoughts prevent tragedy? Comment below with the masks you wear in your closest relationships. Subscribe for more psychological insights. The courtroom divided sharply between 2 competing narratives. Prosecutors painted Danny as calculating and vengeful. The defendant had hours to consider her actions, the DA argued, gesturing to the jury. She retrieved the weapon, waited for the victim's return, then fired 4 times, well beyond what self-defense requires. They emphasized the multiple shots, the absence of physical threats from Monica, and text messages showing premeditation. Defense attorneys presented Danny as a trauma survivor pushed beyond her breaking point. This case isn't about a single night, but about 18 years culminating in psychological devastation, her lawyer countered. They introduced evidence of Monica's growing emotional detachment, the pandemic's impact on both women's mental health and Danny's history of psychological vulnerability. Medical experts debated whether Danny experienced dissociation during the shooting. Body camera footage showed her repeating, "She said I was worthless," without emotion, suggesting a psychological break rather than calculated murder. Dr. Elaine Washington, specialist in LGBTQ+ relationship dynamics, provided crucial context. Same-sex couples face unique stressors that heterosexual couples don't encounter. The additional burden of navigating discrimination creates pressure that compounds normal relationship challenges. She explained how emotional abuse often goes unrecognized in lesbian relationships. Society frequently misses warning signs in female partnerships. There's a misconception that women can't harm each other in the ways heterosexual relationships are monitored for. Her testimony highlighted how isolation from family support, minority stress, and internalized prejudice create vulnerability to relationship violence. factors clearly present in Monica and Danny's deteriorating partnership. Former colleagues testified about workplace discrimination both women faced. Monica had been passed over for promotion 3 times despite superior qualifications. Danny lost teaching opportunities after being labeled too political when featuring Black LGBTQ+ subjects in her art. Financial records revealed how these external pressures strained their relationship. Monica worked excessive overtime to compensate for wage gaps, while Danny's career suffered from systematic exclusion from mainstream galleries. Their therapist testified they internalized society's message that their relationship required perfect strength to justify its existence. This prevented them from acknowledging problems and seeking help. Community members described how the couple gradually withdrew from support networks, believing they needed to present a flawless image to counter prejudice, creating a pressure chamber where resentments grew without healthy release. After 7 days of deliberation, the jury rejected first-degree murder charges but found Danny guilty of second-degree murder. Judge Martina Richardson acknowledged mitigating factors before sentencing. This court recognizes the complex circumstances leading to this tragedy. However, 4 gunshots demonstrate intent beyond momentary passion. She sentenced Danny to 25 years with possibility of parole after 15, mandating psychological treatment throughout incarceration. The gallery remained silent as the sentence was announced. Monica's family, who had requested leniency despite their grief, clasped hands. Danny showed no visible reaction, her expression unchanged since the trial began, as though she'd accepted this outcome long before it arrived. Before sentencing, Danny addressed the court, her voice steady for the first time since her arrest. "I take full responsibility for Monica's death. The woman I loved for 18 years deserved better than what I did, and better than what we became together. I won't ask forgiveness because some actions can't be forgiven. 2 lives ended that night. Monica's by my hand and the person I once was. Neither of us survived our failure to truly see each other." Monica's parents visited her grave weekly, placing fresh flowers beside her photograph. "We should have been more involved," her mother admitted during the memorial service. "We stepped back when she came out, believing space was respect. Now we realize distance became abandonment." Her father, once reluctant to acknowledge their relationship, became an unexpected advocate. "I lost years with my daughter because of my own prejudice," he confessed to friends. "Don't make my mistake. Love your children completely before it's too late." At Pulaski Women's Correctional Facility, Danny initially refused all activities, spending days staring at bare walls. 6 months into her sentence, a persistent art therapist convinced her to join a mural project. Slowly, colors returned to her world. Her first prison artwork, a haunting portrait of Monica, hung in the facility's chapel. Later pieces explored themes of forgiveness, accountability, and healing. She began teaching fellow inmates, establishing a program called Recovery Through Creation. Her waiting list grew as word spread about the quiet woman whose gentle guidance helped others process their own regrets and trauma. The case catalyzed Atlanta's LGBT+ community to address partner violence. The Monica Harris Foundation launched with dual focus: mental health resources for healthcare workers and conflict resolution training for couples. Local galleries hosted exhibitions exploring relationship trauma, featuring artists from marginalized communities. Proceeds funded emergency housing for LGBTQ+ individuals escaping dangerous situations. Medical schools added curriculum addressing compassion fatigue, while art therapy programs expanded to reach underserved neighborhoods. Most significantly, community centers established safe conversation workshops where couples learned healthy communication strategies. Participants often cited Monica and Danny's story as their motivation to attend, determined to prevent similar tragedies within their own relationships. This tragedy reveals how love, even spanning 18 years, requires constant tending. Small wounds left unaddressed become infected by silence. External pressures demand internal honesty as counterbalance. No relationship exists in isolation. Societal discrimination, workplace stress, and personal trauma create pressure that demands release through connection, not withdrawal. The most dangerous moment in any partnership isn't the final argument. It's the first time we choose silence over vulnerability, protection over truth. Could someone have intervened to prevent this tragedy? At what point was this relationship still salvageable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've recognized warning signs from this story in your own relationship, please reach out for support. Resources are linked in the description. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories that challenge us to examine the delicate balance of human connections.